Hello everyone. My name is Melanie Richmond and I am your executive well-being coach. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great midweek and that you're able to crush it out there. So, I wanted to say we are live. So, if you are watching live, say hello in the comments. We want to hear from you, where you're tuning in from, where you're from, anything about rest that you're curious to find out about, because I want this to be really interactive. So let's hear from our audience today. And if you are catching the replay, which I know we're all busy in summer, there's been a lot going on since coming out of this pandemic and living our lives again. So if you're catching the replay, just drop replay in the comments so that we know that you're interested in this subject and are watching. All right, so today we are talking about rest, and it's kind of an interesting topic because oftentimes we think rest is something that we have to earn, which is a completely false belief. Rest is not earned, rest is required. And it's something that is so important for each and every one of us to function at our highest capability and to create a really good well-being around our life, and especially in our careers. If we don't take the rest, it can really take us out of the game. So I'll start off with my own story. About 7 years ago, I had a burnout. I was a young professional, young engineer, working really, really hard and trying my best to showcase what I can offer. And I was working these 14-hour days, 10 days in a row, working so hard. And I was working out after work or at 5 a.m. before the 7 a.m. workday. And I just got so burnt out. I couldn't sleep properly. So even though I was trying to get my 7-8 hours of sleep, I wasn't getting, fully deep sleep. I had a hard time disconnecting from my work. So actually leaving work at work and separating it with my home life, with the things that I love. And I had a hard time of just sitting with myself and my thoughts because my mind was constantly going. It was always on, and it felt like it was just like a hamster in a hamster wheel, just go, 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 keep spinning, keep running. And I started to see health concerns. So I started losing my hair. I had some bald spots, under here. I had really bad Raynaud's because the high levels of cortisol in my blood from the stress. So I had black fingers, black toes in my steel toe boots as an engineer on site, and it was really bad. And I also had a really hard time focusing. So I was sitting at my desk trying to look at a technical problem, and I couldn't easily come up with a solution because it just felt like there was a lot more mental barriers there. So although I thought I was working really hard and doing my best, because I wasn't resting, I just worked myself right up and then I crashed. And I felt like I could just be in my bed for days and I just needed to lay there and do nothing. And that's the point in someone's career, and you might have been there or might have been close there or close to going there, that you realize, wow, I am not living, I'm not living the lifestyle and the habits that I want in order to, be the person I want to be with my family, with my friends, with myself, and at work, because it's not going to help anyone. So that's my story, and that's where I really pivoted to the mindfulness training. And I think working with mindset, with mindfulness, being present is the most powerful work you can do. And that's what we teach at True North. We're all about aligning yourself with what you truly desire, so that North Star, and making sure that you're coming at it from a heart-centered place. So after the burnout, I really transformed my life into what is it that I want? What is it that I prioritize? And we actually, I did a little post on social media on LinkedIn ahead of time about this. And Ben, who I went to university with, he commented on it, on how that was a tough lesson to learn, especially as a young professional. Because as a youth, as a young person, you think you can just push through it all. You know, you have your coffee and you're young and you just have all the energy in the world to push through it. But at some point, it's not sustainable. And eventually, you do need to step back, is what he said, and make some decisions about your life that you want to live and the goals that have meaning to you. So, really being intentional about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So, powerful stuff. So, how does burnout relate to rest? Well, if you don't rest, burnout is likely going to happen. So, how did I go from being a workaholic that wanted to be productive as much as I could and perform as high as I could to actually valuing rest to the level that I do now and teaching others how to do it as well? Well, I had to do it intermittently. It's not something that a lot of people think, hey, I'll rest when I'm retired, or I'll rest when I'm dead, like I'll sleep when I'm dead, or I'll rest when I'm on vacation. And yes, I agree. You absolutely need your vacation time to recharge, to refresh, to step away from your work. But you need that in your day to day. You actually need those rest periods throughout the day in order for you to keep performing at a high level. Look at an athlete, look at somebody that's like Connor McDavid, like a really good hockey player, or you can look at somebody that's playing baseball or basketball. They're not always on. They're not always on the field performing. They have teammates that are supporting them and they're tagging out when they're getting tired so that they can actually rest, grab some water, take a breather, give their muscles a break so then they can return to the field and perform at their optimal level. And not only does that help them perform at their optimal level by having those breaks throughout the game, it makes sure that they as a team are a winning team because they keep that high momentum going throughout. And same thing within our organization is that you need to promote breaks throughout the entire day so that people that, even though they're not at their desk, might be as productive going on a walk or sitting out looking out at the sky. Because let's be honest, when you're in front of a computer trying to problem solve or trying to be creative, that is not the ideal environment for our brains to function in that state. So if you're outside looking at a broad horizon, or you're adding movement and the different hormones are coming through your body or your endorphins, it actually changes your brain chemistry so that you can look at things differently. You can broaden your perspective and come up with something super innovative. So even though somebody might be in their shower, they might come up with the most brilliant solution to a problem and know they're not sitting at their desk checked in. So it's not about clocking in and clocking out. Like, we are not, as corporate professionals, driven professionals that are highly educated in our careers, we're not just there to be there physically at our desk in order to produce. Like, we can be producing while we're out in nature. So what working looks like and what our industry views a productive worker look like does not mean sitting at your desk at 7:30 a.m. in the morning until 5 p.m. at night. Really, it's the result that they can produce. And that can look totally different because from a strategic level, all of the best ideas have often come while stepping away from the desk by having these like workshops, those SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. So I challenge you, if you're feeling stuck at your desk, having to work, step away from it. Take that rest, because oftentimes that's when a simple solution shows up and you can move past whatever you were struggling with. And it also changes your energy. So, same thing as the athlete, they step onto the bench, they have a seat, they recover, they relax, they refresh, and then they go back in the field. Okay, I also want to touch on vacation. So, you already know that it's important to take rest throughout the workday, and that can be step away from your desk, grab a glass of water. It can be step away from your desk, go grab a coffee, walk outside. It can be go to the gym. That could be your rest, because maybe that's your way to mentally rest. Um, so with vacation, North Americans are some of the worst in the world at actually using their vacation. And there's so many companies out there sending emails, hey, you have to use your vacation or else it's going to expire, you're going to get paid out. And guess what? A lot of people say, the first thing they say, I can't take vacation, I'm too busy. Well, guess what? If that's your attitude, you just won't be able to set boundaries with yourself, with work and your vacation time. Because as an employee to an organization, your vacation time is how you are getting compensated. So it's really like you're telling your employer at this point, hey, I don't want to get paid for this work that I'm doing. That's basically what it amounts to when you're not taking your vacation. So take your vacation, because that is part of your compensation benefit. And not only that, taking vacation every 3 to 4 months is so important to kind of just reset, really, like especially a week vacation every 2 to 3 months, ideally, maybe 4, depending on how many you have, because it gives you a chance to disconnect. And that mountain of work, it's still going to be there when you return. And if you just stay working, yeah, maybe it won't be as scary when you come back. But the other thing I see with people that are afraid to take vacation because of the work is they're also afraid to disconnect. They're out of office. There we go. We are back in action. So if I'm taking vacation, that means that I am fully disconnecting from my work. So I really appreciate seeing people say, hey, I am out of the office and I will not be responding to emails until I return. Because I want someone who goes on vacation and has a healthy boundary with their work and their personal life, that they value the need to rest, and that's part of their compensation. They're allowed to rest without having to be on their email the whole vacation time. And that is so huge. I see that throughout industry a lot. A lot of senior leaders, management, I think there was a stat saying over 60 or close to 50% of all senior leaders have an out of office saying that they will be somewhat connected still. And in reality, any business, anybody is replaceable. So for you to take that vacation and be willing to set that boundary, disconnect, and let's say there's a fire, they can call you. You don't need to be on your phone, on your computer on vacation. Like, set some healthy boundary for yourself. And that also sets the expectation for your employees below you. So if you're a team member lead and you're setting an out of office reply saying, hey, I'll be checking intermittently, then somebody that's working for you then feels like, hey, when I take my vacation, maybe I should be checking my emails periodically as well, which is not setting the right tone. So it kind of brings that toxic culture into work. So as leaders, it's crucial that you have time to rest on vacation and you can fully disconnect. I know some people also don't want to take vacation because they feel that they might not be as dedicated to the company and their work. Whereas I challenge that, because if you aren't taking your vacation, it actually puts the company in a financial tight spot that they owe you to be paid out something. And it's actually kind of a negative part, but it's also, if you're not taking your vacation, then you might not be performing at your peak because you might not be recharged. So taking your vacation can actually show that you are dedicated to showing up the best as you can for your work, for yourself, for your family, and that goes a long way. And in terms of company culture, so company cultures that really encourage, no meetings on Friday because that's a rest day, or company cultures that encourage you to take one day off every quarter for mental health reasons. That is very beneficial in the sense that it gives employees time to be with themselves, doing things that recharge. And rest can look very different for everyone else. So maybe that one person that gets that day to themselves, they're going to go walk in nature, they're going to go hike somewhere, go out by a lake, or somebody else, it might be they're going to rest by sitting on the couch watching some movies because that's how they recover. So there's a lot to it. And the biggest thing is, if you're not resting, then you're being disconnected with yourself. Because we live in a world that's very fast paced, that has so many distractions at the tip of our fingers, in front of all the screens. There's always something grabbing our attention. And when we have the time to rest, we can really tune in and become self-aware. And I've talked about this in other live show, is how self-awareness is the first piece to transformation. Because otherwise we're just living numb. We're living on autopilot, like that hamster in the hamster wheel that I was talking about when I went through my burnout. So it's time to take that rest. So if you're on your lunch break, good for you. I hope you are taking the time to watch this and enjoy your food and maybe go out for a walk after. And anything else I want to say on rest? I just want to emphasize that rest is not earned, it's required. Don't ever feel like you need to accomplish all of these things before you take the rest. If energetically you're saying, my body feels drained right now, I can't think straight, had a bad night's sleep, something's going on in my family, family health concern, and I need time to recharge, take the time. That 10 minutes, 20 minutes, hour, whatever it is, if it's an entire day, take it, because then you'll actually show up for work and be able to be present, not be numb, not just be there physically, but not mentally or emotionally. So that's what I'm going to leave you with today. Again, my name is Melanie Richmond. I am your executive well-being coach. We're all about aligning ourselves with our heart at True North, living from a place of authenticity and knowing what our values are. And rest is critical in the well-being realm. So I hope you've enjoyed today's show. If you have, drop a yes or no in the comments. Let us know if there's anything that you're struggling with rest, and we'll see if we can connect. You can always reach out to me and we can jump on a one-on-one call and chat about your situation. We also have a very exciting workshop going to be happening in August. I'm still confirming the exact dates, but I will be posting some information on that. Otherwise, I hope to catch you on the next live show on Wednesdays, and keep track of my content. It's all about how you can live a better, healthier, more empowered, and mindful life. All right, guys, have a great Wednesday. Bye bye.